Welcome to a debate that has defined our decade. In this video, two voices of a divided East, we bring together a Russian economist and a Ukrainian journalist to confront the hardest questions of the war. They debate everything from the historical wounds that started this conflict to the cyber warfare shaping its future. From the crushing human cost to the slim hope for peace. This isn't just about geopolitics. It's about two national stories colliding. Stick around to hear their powerful arguments and discover which vision for the future ultimately prevails. Moderator, welcome. Today, we have two distinguished speakers. Natalia Ivanova, a Russian economist from Moscow, and Oksana Shevchenko, a Ukrainian journalist from Kyiv. Let's begin with the origins of this conflict. Oksana, from your perspective, where did this all start? Oksana, Ukraine, thank you. This war did not start in 2022. It began in 2014 when Crimea was taken from us, when tanks crossed our borders under the false shadow of protection. For decades, Ukraine has been making a choice for independence, for democracy, for a European future. And for that, we were punished. The world labeled it a complex geopolitical issue. For us, it was a simple, brutal invasion. Natalia, Russia, you speak as if Russia woke up one morning and decided to destroy its neighbors out of malice. You ignore the history. For decades, NATO relentlessly crept eastward, breaking promises and tearing up treaties. Russia watched as the West armed your borders, funded a government that actively turned its back on centuries of shared history and culture. No powerful nation on earth would simply accept military encirclement on its doorstep. Oksana, Ukraine, you call it installment. We call it our sovereign choice. We are a free nation, not a pawn to be moved around on your geopolitical chessboard. Every missile that struck Mariupol, every blackout that plunged Kharkov into darkness, was justified by you in the name of security. But tell me, what kind of security is built by destroying hospitals and schools? Natalia, Russia, and what kind of sovereignty allows foreign powers to dictate its entire defense policy? The West poured billions of dollars into your military and your media, and in doing so, you willingly became the front line of someone else's grand strategy against Russia. We were provoked for years. When we finally acted, it was to protect the Russian-speaking populations you had alienated, not to destroy Ukraine as a whole. Moderator, let's turn to the financial consequences of this warfare. Immense costs on both sides. Natalia's sanctions were designed to cripple Russia. How did that play out? Natalia, Russia, the sanctions were intended to bring us to our knees, but they inadvertently forced us to innovate. Russia was forced to turn inward. We had to build our own local tech industries, rapidly shift our trade partnerships to Asia, and create a resilient, parallel economy. Yes, we lost access to Western markets, but what we gained in return was a new level of economic independence. Oksana, Ukraine, you speak of independence built on the blood of my people. The Ukrainian economy was cut in half. Millions were displaced from their homes, their lives shattered. Yet, Even amid the rubble and ruin, our resilience is different. In Kyiv, tech startups are still coding. Our farmers are finding new ways to export grain through digital corridors. People are turning to crypto because the traditional banking system has been broken by the war. Our resilience isn't forced upon us, it's chosen every single day. Moderator, this leads us to technology, which has become a new battlefield. Oksana, Ukraine, this is not just a war of tanks and artillery anymore. It's a war of algorithms and data. Drones, satellite intelligence, and constant cyber attacks now shape our daily reality. For us, technology has become both our shield and our sword. It's often Ukrainian engineers, not just soldiers, who are turning the tide of a battle from behind a laptop. Natalia, Russia, and yet you consistently underestimate Russia's digital strength. Our cyber capabilities are what kept our economy and infrastructure alive through years of sanctions and relentless disinformation campaigns from the West. Both sides weaponize information. That is true. But the difference is this. Russia does so to survive, while Ukraine does it to plead for sympathy and weapons abroad. Moderator, this conflict has sent shockwaves across the globe, reshaping energy, trade, and food markets. Natalia, how do you see that impact? Natalia, Russia, Europe froze itself with its own arrogance. The sanctions backfired spectacularly. Energy prices soared across the continent, industries faltered, and suddenly, Russian gas didn't seem so evil after all. Russia simply found new buyers in India, China, and the Middle East. The world was reminded that global power flows where the resources go. Oksana, Ukraine, true. But power that is built on dependency is fragile. It always cracks eventually. Ukraine's suffering, as terrible as it has been, forced the world to innovate. We've seen a massive push toward renewables, new LNG terminals, and greater energy diversification. Your gas empire has lost its grip on Europe for good. Even in our tragedy, we became the catalyst for positive global change. Moderator, let's move beyond economics and talk about the human cost. Oksana, Ukraine, let's. Please stop speaking in terms of GDP and pipelines for a moment. My cousin died defending Kyiv. My son still sleeps under the sound of air raid sirens. Our fight for freedom costs human lives every single day. But at least our sacrifice has a clear purpose. Can you honestly say the same, Natalia? Natalia, Russia, every Russian mother who has buried a son asks that very same question. We are told this is for national defense, for correcting historical wrongs, for our destiny as a great nation. But destiny feels hollow and meaningless when the coffins come home. Still, I will not apologize for loving my country even if I question the path its leaders have chosen. Moderator, and what is the role of the West in all of this? Natalia, Russia, America profits most from this war. It's obvious. They sell weapons, they sell their LNG at inflated prices, and their global influence grows. The West is fighting Russia to the last Ukrainian they fight through. Oksana and your people are the ones who pay the ultimate price at Oksana, Ukraine. And yet, without that support, my country would no longer exist. Do not twist a lifeline into a chain of manipulation. Yes, geopolitics is a dirty game. But if I have to choose between dependency and complete erasure, I will choose dependency. At least it keeps us alive to fight for our future. Moderator, if peace were on the table tomorrow, what would it look like? Oksana, your vision first. Oksana, Ukraine. Justice must come first. Our internationally recognized borders must be restored. War crimes must be tried in an international court, and reparations must be paid for the destruction. Peace without accountability is not peace, it is surrender. Natalia, Russia. Then there will never be peace. Russia will not kneel. A lasting settlement requires mutual respect. That means security guarantees for us and sovereignty for you. An agreement based on punishment and humiliation will only breed more resentment and future conflict. Moderator, despite these deep divisions, is there any flicker of hope? Oksana, Ukraine, you know, before all this, I loved visiting Moscow. I admired the art, the language, the incredible spirit of the city. I still believe our people could live as neighbors again, not as enemies. I have to believe that, Natalia, Russia, and I still believe we were never truly enemies to begin with, only pawns in much larger games played by others. Perhaps one day, when the politicians and oligarchs on all sides stop profiting from our pain, we'll remember that simple truth. Moderator. Neither side wins on the battlefield, but in this debate, one voice rises above vengeance, the one that seeks coexistence through reform, transparency, and human dignity. Verdict: Oksana's vision rooted in justice, innovation, and rebuilding wins not by defeating Russia, but by refusing to let destruction define Ukraine's future. Natalia's caution serves as a vital reminder that power and security will always shape the actions of nations. But history ultimately favors those who rebuild, not those who retreat behind walls of pride. Thank you so much for watching this intense and important discussion. What are your thoughts? Whose argument resonated more with you? Let us know in the comments below. If you found this video valuable, please give it a like and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the issues that shape our world. We appreciate your support and hope you'll stay tuned for our next video.